lava from Yeast Origin. Yeast Origin. Sophia the Third and Zelda Randomizer. That would be interesting to see. I don't know how you do it, but it'd be interesting.
Whoa, was that the hookshot? I think it was hookshot first chest for Xelnas there.
Holy crap! Can we call this a crazy seed now?
Is that the commentator's blessing there? I think it is.
Yeah, watch it come back to bite them all in the end. 'Cause you know that's how it works.
So it looks like JTB is setting up for a Houlihan room.
Smart move. Yeah, there's early on. Because you don't know if you're going to get the big monies later.
Nice bomb pull from the tree there in front of Escape.
Nice.
Old man has just $50.
Money is money. Can't go wrong with it.
Looks like JTB is going to pick up some bombs from the bomb vendor.
Never go wrong with those. Like, they're always needed, and you never know when you're going to need them.
Pretty much all the time.
It's like the saying goes, 50% of the time it works every time.
Interesting choice by Smashy here to go into the front of Hyrule Castle here with just the bombs, but we'll see how that plays out.
Maybe he just wants to get Escape out of the way as quick as possible. Or at least the Zelda cell rescue.
We've got JTB heading over to Sahasrara's hut.
See what we find there.
The mirror, okay, that's great.
Okay then, all we're missing is a glove and a hammer to get into the Dark World.
And maybe a moon pearl as well.
Yeah, that's true.
There's the power glove for Xelnas in Blind's hut. And the flippers as well, okay.
I really wouldn't be shocked by now if someone decides to brave the dark, maybe make their way up to Death Mountain, since they both have the gloves and the hookshot to try and clear out the Light World portion of all that.
That will be a pretty interesting sequence break. I think maybe Xelnas could do that. We'll see what happens. Smashy not finding anything in Escape that could of any use, so decides to save and quit. Other than Blind's Hat, not really seeing too much in the way of progression items here in Kakariko. Lots of money.
Money is always good to pay, for Zora though. So even if it ends up being a life lesson, it's always important to have that information.
Yeah, nothing worse than having Zora hanging in the back of your mind there.
Thinking that, oh, do you have what I need? And then again, it's not just the King Zora, it's also that ledge, too.
Xelnas taking a gamble on the maze game, just going right for it without even checking it. This is a pretty common strategy I've seen people use.
I always like to check it first.
As do I. We've got JTB in the dark rooms in Eastern Palace right now, so he's going to try and get through as much of that as he can, and he does.
It's one of the easier dark rooms, so shouldn't be too much trouble.
And the maze game was a bust. Doesn't look like Eastern Palace paid off too much. Now we're going to get our first look at Back of Escape and also the South Shore. Oh, it looks like actually Xelnas is doing a Houlihan room instead right now.
Yeah, sure looks that way. Get his money. Inside the storage there is 50 rupees. Benteezy, releasing the water from the dam. What do we find outside?
Looks like another 50 rupees.
And he's gonna take it.
Smashy's starting to work through. Kakariko picks up the Power Glove and the Flippers. We're going to get a first look at the mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, hookshot is very useful with this cave. Like, I mean, one-shotting all of them. That's the best part of hookshot. It mostly one-shots everything. Stuff you can't one-shot, it can at least stun. Not looking like there's too much of use in the Moldorm Cave, though.
Looks like Benteezy's going to be checking out the Hylia Island, and there's not much there. Heading towards the Hobo now. And JTB is heading up towards the Ice Rod Cave.
Whose gamble is gonna pay off?
Just a piece of heart for Benteezy.
While with JTB, what are we gonna find?
Also a piece of heart.
Pretty even match so far among our featured runners.
Looks like Benteezy's going to be heading towards Zora. Check the Waterfall Cave, the Waterfall Ledge, and then Zora himself.
What do you think it's going to be with Zora? Life lesson? Something useful?
Got the Bloomerang there in the Waterfall Cave. As for Zora, I think it's going to be a pretty bad life lesson.
Wow, like what? A blue rupee instead of a red one?
Yeah, really rub it in.
That would do it.
Full heart container on the ledge there. Ten arrows, not worth it.
Wow. That's just as bad.
So all of our runners kind of checking spots we've already seen so far. We'll have to see. It looks like Benteezy might be heading into the Back of Escape now.
be a bad move. I mean, I wouldn't find progression there, logically, but you never know if you find something you may need later.
The flute! Alright. Now we're talking.
Which, that might not be a bad thing to find, because it could remind them to go check out the desert.
That quick travel is really important. Getting to the desert a lot easier. Also, heading up to Death Mountain is now in the logic.
The old man isn't in the logic yet, but that Death Mountain certainly is.
Our other runners are probably going to start to run out of places to check, so they'll probably start heading towards the back of Escape soon enough as well.
A couple of them might be tempted to forego trying to find the just scale up the mountain anyway, if they're able to. I don't believe we've had a map check either, so we don't know if Hera is going to be needed. So that mirror could come into play.
That's interesting that we're 11 minutes in and none of our runners have actually checked the map yet.
Oh, we're evidently there was just a map check, and looks like all three crystals are all three dungeons in the light world are crystals. So,
And it looks like Tower of Hera is 5 or 6, so that's good.
that means a potentially we may not need the medallions.
There is a chance that Misery Mire and Turtle Rock could both be pendants, yeah. Xelnas now heading into the back of Escape will also pick up their flute. And Benteezy doing a check of Agina's cave.
Unless they find the fire rod or the lamp, though, they won't be able to get Hera. So they might be tempted to look over Eastern Death Mountain first before committing to the Tower of Hera.
Okay, so now we're seeing some Death Mountain action here.
Benteezy ignoring the old man for now, just opting to scale up the mountain to see what's likely up on Spectacle Rock.
JTB heading over to Zora to pick up his vampire skewers. As is Smashy.
Bomb upgrade on Spectacle Rock. What's in the cave? The bombs. So, not really much value here on Spectacle Rock or in the cave. Oh, I just saw jkoper pick up Bling Gloves. He's got Titan's Mitt. So Dark World access on the east side of Death Mountain.
I wondered how someone got into Paradox Cave so quickly there, but we got a little change of runner.
They may not have the Moon Pearl quite yet, but they'll still be able to check the Super Bunny Cave. Floating Island has a red rupee. Let's see what the Spiral Cave holds. Spiral Cave has just a capacity upgrade for arrows.
So the Titan's Mitts were the big get so far up here on Death Mountain, not panning out. Whoa, how did we miss the boots there? Xelnas picked up the boots from the old man. That's
Wow.
huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Especially if especially if whatever's on the torch is required and is blocked. Oh, Xelnas taking a death. That's unfortunate. JTB getting his duck.
So all of our runners are making the Death Mountain play, and we're going to see what is next for them. Looks like jkoper hasn't jumped into Eastern Palace or Sahasrah's hut yet, so maybe checking those places out. Benteezy going for the Super Bunny play. Oh, there's our Dark World check. Crystal 6 in Thieves Town. It's green pendant for Turtle Rock. That's
wow.
That's
and it looks
dangerous.
Like
and another.
If I have it right, Swamp, Palace of Darkness, Turtle Rock.
Is jkoper trying to check out the Myers shed here with the bunny?
Could be. I don't know if he'd find anything of use there, because it is a logic.
That looks like he's heading to Desert Palace.
That's a wise play, too, because he can backdoor it.
JTB just picking up his Titan's Mitts from the Paradox Cave. Wow, we are missing a lot of the hype items here. We missed the bow there. Benteezy picking that up in the Super Bunny Cave.
Wow. So Eastern can be done. He would still need the lantern, but it can be done.
Shouldn't be a problem for Ben. I think he can probably handle the dark rooms there. Both Xelnas and JTB doing a synced version of the Spiral Cave. Going to be disappointed by the arrow upgrade they find.
Only difference between the two, Xelnas having the PF flyers, whereas JTP still hasn't gotten his yet.
Full heart in the checkerboard cave for jkoper.
Health is always good. There should never be a time when you're saying, I wish I had less health. Unless you're playing expert or insane.
And it looks like Xelnas is going to make the same play that Ben did, and he's going to find the bow as well.
Do you think it's possible that this is a Naganim seed? If they find the lamp somewhere soon?
It could be if they're still looking for the. Well, no, they've got the flippers. So, oh, actually, it could be on the pyramid ledge, I suppose. At this point, the moon pearl could be on the pyramid ledge. That is. Yeah, this is still a swordless run at this point. No one has found a sword even, so it's getting. They're gonna be clearing out the board before they can even make any progress here.
Yeah, open mode always felt pretty tricky. I've only ever played standard mode, so it looks a lot more challenging. Maybe not so much from like a viewer perspective, or rather when you're playing it, but from a viewer perspective, it really is.
So we've got jkoper heading into Tower of Hera here, but it looks like it is fire source locked. Unfortunately, they have to go down into the basement.
That's bad.
At least I think so. Maybe I spoke too soon there.
No, it is. He got a plastic shield from there. Oh wait.
Big Key was the first item, yeah. So
Yeah.
he's on track.
Yeah, he may have to get the second item later if it's in the basement. First item there was a plastic shield.
There's our moon pearl.
Oh boy.
Vanilla location, I think.
Yeah, it sure looks like that way.
So now we're going to see the seed open up quite a bit here. They've got access to the Dark World with the gloves and the Moon Pearl, so pretty much every area is open.
Next stop could be Village of Outcasts.
There's definitely going to be something to give them some progression there for sure.
Oh, Koper fluting to 6, opting to maybe take care of some things there.
Could not make out what the medallion for Misery Mire was there. Chat is telling us that it was Ether.
Well, if there was a required medallion that I wouldn't mind having it be, I would want it to be Ether.
That means there's some bird toss potential, which would be very hype. Benteezy taking it to the Armos Knights there with a quick kill, very nice. JTB picking up his blue mail from Agina's Cave there. And now we have jkoper heading into the Dark World around the Village of Outcasts. Heading into Skull Woods, though, first.
It's a curious play.
Skull Woods always seems to have value, even if you don't have the Fire Rod to full complete it. There's usually something in there.
Yeah, but then you always have to deal with the Wall Masters, which I absolutely loathe with a fiery passion. Nothing so far for jkoper.
He's going to have to drop down to get to the other chests in that front part. And Desert Palace is boots locked, so eventually everyone is going to have to talk to the old man.
Which means we'll have to be finding the lamp soon. There it is! Holy crap! jkoper finding the lamp!
Skull Woods paying off.
jkoper heading up towards the bumper cave, seeing what's on the ledge there. It is not useful.
A lot of people seem to be putting off the Tower of Hera play, and so no one is finding the Moon Pearl. They really need to get up there as soon as possible.
jkoper having sort of a lead as a result. He's making his way towards the graveyard ledge. I wouldn't be shocked if he checks King's next. And just bombs. While it is true that you can't logically check the Kings without the, I have seen like a I think there's a clip there that allows you to check it even without it. I can't remember how it's done.
JTB just can't get away from that pesky murder-dactyl there. Almost took him out.
Nothing useful in the sea house that jkoper enters. And now jkoper's diving right into thieves. What are we gonna find? Big key to lead it off.
I think someone needs to tell Xelnas that the hookshot does not work on the Igors. Xelnas getting bullied a bit by the Armos Knights, but should be able to finish him off pretty soon. And jkoper has checked the first 4 and is out of Thievestown now.
Checking out the chest game. What do we find here? Just a heart container.
And Xelnas picks up his first crystal. That's the Eastern Palace crystal.
Looking like JTB is on his way to go ahead and get his Moon Pearl.
Definitely the right call. There weren't too many other options left, so Tower of Hera it is. jkoper gonna check out the digging game.
Certainly a good play.
I don't know how many times I've been trolled by items at the digging game that I failed to check.
Worst item you've been trolled by with the digging game.
Cana Samaria. Did we just find the hammer there?
Stop! Hammer time! So that's gonna open up Palace of Dark.
They've got everything they need for Swamp Palace now, and that is once he gets his bow, jkoper can also take care of Palace of Darkness. And JTB bombing the big chest in Tower of Hera there. holding that moon pearl he'd been looking for. Just a heart container in the peg game there, and it looks like jkoper is going to take the lunchbox on the world tour. JTB picking up his bow. And Benteezy grabs the moon pearl. Going to get a Haunted Grove ledge check here. And jkoper probably going to say hi to Stumpy next. Meanwhile, JTB is checking out Hookshot Cave and finds the powder. And our first sword. Oh my. Xelnas picking up his blue tunic there. Very nice. Benteezy checking out Skull Woods and is probably going to find his lamp very soon. And what does the purple chest have today? It's the red mail. Very nice. jkoper heading over to the Hype Cave while Ben starts checking out the back of Skull Woods. JTB is going to be joining him up there very soon. The Hype Cave that of recent has not been very hype. Let's see how it is today. Wow, that was one of the worst Hype Caves I've ever seen. That's terrible. Looks like jkoper is making the Swamp Palace play. There's not really a whole heck of a lot else they can do, so this is a good move, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
If he'd picked up the boots from... Wait, jkoper needs the bow, I think, is the item that he'd be looking for, and that was up in Dark Death Mountain. That'd be a nice find for him right now, but there's probably something here in Swamp Palace that he can make use of. JTB
See what we find in this first chest.
And JTB checking out the Graveyard Ledge Cave.
Nothing good so far for jkoper and Swamp.
Xelnas setting up for a death warp here in the bottom of Hyrule Castle. Maybe forgetting that he had the mirror?
I guess that is possible.
So all of our runners are kind of missing one piece of the puzzle, but collectively they have all the items that you need to explore quite a few of the dungeons.
Certainly options, they just need to be pointed in the right direction to get those options fully unlocked.
Ben picking up that hammer is probably going to head towards Pod, I would say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value in there. Even though it's a pendant, there could be something else sticking in there.
Provided Hemasaur King doesn't have anything, it's certainly the play to...
Silver arrows in Swamp Palace.
Oh boy, howdy.
Xelnas finding his way in the dark there in the sewers there of Hyrule Castle.
Can't tell what he picked up.
There it is, a piece of heart.
jkoper opting to do the left side of Swamp.
Seems like pretty standard routing when you don't have too many progression items. You generally just kind of go for it. You're going to have to full clear it.
Provided the hookshot is available early, there is a lot of value to check Swamp.
Ben taking a lunchbox for a little tour there. And Xelnas finally steps into Tower of Hera and is finally going to pick up their Moon Pearl.
That means by the end of this, all 4 of our featured runners will have the Moon Pearl and be able to get into the Dark World. What do we find here at the big chest? Just the compass.
None of our runners have cleared Thieves' Town yet with that sword in hand. Ben picks up his red mail there. jkoper heads into the backside of Swamp Palace. There are 4 items they can possibly pick up back here.
Plus Argus.
The shovel fetch quest, perhaps.
Getting good.
Ooh, looks like Xelnas took a fall trying to do the bomb jump in Tower of Hera there.
jkoper soon quickly making his way over to Argus.
While Ben bombs the hype cave on his way out.
And because jkoper doesn't have a sword quite yet, he's going to have to do a lot of menuing.
And that was the cane on Hylia Island there.
Wow.
Our good friend Kane. I think it's gotta be him.
Well, it doesn't have to be, but if it's gotta be, well, I'll go with it.
JTB with a pretty clean blind fight so far. And just the burrito. Does that mean that there's an item down in the big chest there? I wasn't keeping count.
jkoper almost finished with phase 1 of Argus.
So I'm being told by chat that there was an item in the hammer chest there. So if JTB picks up the hammer from the digging game, he might just run right back into Thieves Town and finish that off.
I think the problem could be that he would probably route it after he goes up to Hookshot Cave to get his powder to wrap it around with the bat. Could be a while.
True, true.
Like Xelnas is headed up to Hookshot Cave to get his sword and magic powder.
We'll definitely be very glad to see both of those items. jkoper heads back into Swamp Palace to pick up anything that he was missing. I think it might be... Oh, the big key?
Yeah, it's probably got to be the big chest if you get back in.
And a bottle with some green goo in it.
Gotta love to do. Like, we only need one medallion this seed, if at all. Because it appears that Turtle Rock is Ether as well.
Xelnas picks up his sword and powder and is out of the Hookshot Cave. And jkoper is going to be picking up his Cane of Samaria. Looks like we're seeing our first Bat Cave check. Just a bomb upgrade. Looks like jkoper is going to be checking the Pyramid Ledge and then maybe rooting that in with Catfish.
Bad play to make here. Hopefully it's something useful, but I doubt it. A key chest for Thieves Town has a heart container, so.
Looks like we had a sword on the pyramid ledge there, so that makes 2 swords that we have found so far. Ben heading in for his blind fight.
Meanwhile, JTB doing the world tour with his purple chest. Looking like jkoper is doing the back end of Escape now and looking to get ready for deployment there. Oh, Xelnas taking another death. That's too bad.
JTB picks up his red mail.
So, Sabo, we're about 45 to 50 minutes in. What's the one item you are surprised is trolling them the most right now?
Well, I said earlier that I was thinking the fire rod might troll our runners today, and so far it is. They kind of need it to get a couple of dungeons cleared out, and they have not found it yet.
So, sounds like your prediction just living up to it.
I guess so, yeah. At this point, I'm thinking there's got to be something in pod.
That might have to be the play, like the back end of Palace of Darkness.
But Ben is heading up to Catfish, so we'll get our first look at that.
Yeah, heading up to the Lake of Ill Omen.
I actually didn't know it was called that until very recently.
Really now?
Yup.
jkoper thinking about saving and quitting, but then quickly remembering that he has the mirror.
And we found a bottle at the Catfish there. And Ben's going to turn that in right away, see what the sick kid has for us. A big 20. Nice of the kid to give up his allowance there.
But now he can't buy his medicine.
Oh, right.
We're horrible people. Or at least they are. Someone think of the children?
JTB's going to be picking up his sweet kicks pretty soon.
Benteezy quickly saying hello to the bully. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but kind of nice to see that text. Making his way into Tower of Hera to finish it.
And we've got JTB joining him, I think. First time our runners came up here, they did not have a weapon that they could kill Moldorm with. So now that they have suited up with either
Yeah, that's right.
the hammer, or a sword, they're now ready to actually take him on.
Yeah, and JTB might finish it quicker because he found a second sword on that ledge of the pyramid.
And with 3 quick hits of the hammer, Ben has taken down Trolldorm.
Hey, what's it gonna drop?
The key to the basement.
Something down, and there's obviously something down there. I think we've seen all the other dungeon items. We've only seen the pearl. Will he go check? No, he's opting not to.
I think because we picked up the Fisher-Price shield in there as well as the Moon Pearl, so that would be both items.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that the plastic shield was in the front end. Oh, trolled by a dead rock Benteezy is getting. That was an awkward spot to get stuck.
And after one fall to Trolldorm, JTB gets his revenge and picks up the crystal.
Benteezy to at least open up the portal on Turtle Rock. Not sure what his next play might be. It could be. Look. Oh wait, he's getting his sword and magic powder next.
Xelnas picking up the hammer from the digging game. And looks like Ben might give us our first look at the Spike Cave?
Looks that way with the way he's going. I don't think anything would be useful in there since the logic requires you to have a safety to access it.
Half magic, that's a pretty good find.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for places like for like going up against Cold Stare or making the climb up Ganon's tower.
It's always nice to have a bit more magic.
Can't say no to stuff like that. All about having those quality of life items, am I right?
Yes, indeed. So jkoper finishes off blind with very little problem, and
Looking like JTB is gonna be. No, he's not gonna go ahead and finish off Desert Palace. That's curious. Oh, he's headed into the mire shed. Okay. Now he's gonna finish off Desert Palace. But first, get trolled by having a bad portal.
So it looks like the only items that we're looking for at this point between all of our runners are the Fire Rod and the Ether Medallion for Misery Mire.
Possibly Bombos too if we can't find Fire Rod soon.
That is true. It could be the Fire Rod could be in Ice Palace, and might need to use Bombos to get it.
That would be horrible if it was. Oh, evidently we missed that the Fire Rod was found in the King's Tomb. Wow. Benteezy opening the seat up even more. And he's off checking Bonk Rocks next. What do we find there? Just a heart piece.
So really, we're just Ether Medallion away from Go Mode at this point.
Well, Ether and a better sword.
Yes, in Ben's case, yes, he definitely needs to find that other sword, which we saw on the Pyramid Ledge, because I think he picked up the one in the Hookshot Cave already.
Doesn't look like there's much hype for Pedestal right now. I don't think it's going to happen.
It would be, I think, very slim possibility at this point, yeah.
Like jkoper opening up his portal to Turtle Rock.
He'll pick up his Master Sword.
Along with Powder, too. JTB getting his red cane. Oh, we're having a Pyramid Fairy check. Let's see what we find in there. Benteezy is picking up his Master Sword. So, we only need Ether to get really going. Nothing of use in the Pyramid Fairy, though. But at least he has his Master Sword.
jkoper really needs to make the play up to... he's got his boat, it just wasn't on the tracker there. So he's actually also in really good shape now that he's picked up the Fire Rod.
Benteezy doing back end escape. I wouldn't know why. Maybe he's just trying to mark off locations that he knows he hasn't checked yet.
I guess before diving into a dungeon and trying to fully look through that, he thought he would just try a couple little spots here and there. Looking for that Ether Medallion.
The play might just end up having to be, like, clear what you can now without possibly needing to go into places you really don't want to go in. Like Skull Woods is doable right now. And, also, Misery Mire almost is ready to go. Just need Ether.
We've also got Ice Palace to check now that we've got the Fire Rod we can get through.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can do that too. And Benteezy still hasn't done Desert yet, so that's going to have to eventually be done too.
We've got JTB taking a look in pod right now.
So it could be possible that Benteezy's looking to finish both Mire and Desert all at once. So that could be the play. But for now, he's going right into the back end of Skull Woods.
Very quick torch room there from Benteezy, and he's on his way to Mothula now. And he's got jkoper to keep him company. He is right behind him.
Benteezy making short work of Mothula there. Very nicely done. Gets his big key for his troubles and drops, and the crystal drops down. And like Xelnas is headed up to Skullwood. Well,
looks like all of our runners starting to get on the same track here, except for JTB, who is still poking around in Palace of Darkness right now. But that's where the Ether Medallion is. Oh my.
Oh dear, this changes everything. A pendant dip was required to complete this seed.
How long is it going to take one of the other three to make the dive into pod?
That's hard to say. Like, they could I hesitate to say that they might opt to go Ice Palace before they go into Pendant Pod.
I totally agree. They're probably all going to full clear Ice Palace first.
Oh, but that's a good point too. JTB has not checked King's Tomb for his Fire Rod yet. How long until he goes there?
He'll probably run out of places to check before our other runners do, so might end up going to King's Tomb fairly soon.
It's a curious move. JTB mirroring out to finish off the rest of Eastern instead of going ahead and finishing Palace of Darkness.
I guess figuring he's picked up all the items that he needs.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Pod is a pendant, so. Looks like he's getting, he just barely missed getting the quick kill on that Stalfos room. That's a cool trick. I find it really neat.
Yeah, having one of the skeletons, Stalfos, spawn on the bottle causes them to not even show up in the room, so you only have to take care of 2 of them.
Occasionally but that's only if you're slow.
Xelnas takes down Mothula. So Bed heads into the Landmolus fight here.
JTB near flawlessly taking care of the Armos Knights.
And at the same time, Ben takes care of Landmolus with the Fire Rod quite easily.
Second item in the Skull Woods is the mushroom. This could be a slippery slope.
Yeah, we know that we don't have to do any of these fetch quests, and that might get Xelnas thinking, well, he's going to turn in right away, so that's not too much of a time loss then.
He was thinking about the pedestal, but realized he didn't have the book.
Ben's heading into Ice Palace now.
Uh-oh, this... bad. JTB opening up Misery Mire and making his way through there.
So because he's still looking for the Fire Rod, he's likely going to full clear Misery Mire, looking for the 2 items that you can find there.
First chest in Ice Palace is just a regular dungeon key.
Looks like Xelnas is going to be picking up his cane. jkoper about to take on Landmolus there.
It'll be pretty flawless with silver arrows. So long as he gets it in like the first 2 or 3 cycles.
Well, how about a 1 cycle there?
That's
Very
pretty
nice.
good too.
First item in Misery Mire was a bottle for JTB. And jkoper is following Ben step for step here, heading into Ice Palace as well. We've actually got 3 of our runners in Ice Palace at the same time here. All 3 of them finding the Fire Rod first, looking for the Ether Medallion as their go mode item, while JTB has the Ether Medallion, which he found in Pod, and is looking for the Fire Rod, which is in King's Tomb. JTB gets all 4 torches lit in Misery Mire there and waiting on the longest cutscene ever. Just a lot of money in the big chest there for Benteezy. Vanilla big key in Misery Mire there. And in the iced tea room, just a big 20. Ben just about to make his way in to fight Cold Stare. Master Sword Cold Stare is never a fun fight.
At least they have the hammer, so they can do some tempered damage.
And with the red mail, Cold Stare's hugs aren't as terrible.
Meanwhile, JTB up, getting ready to face Vitreous. It shouldn't be a problem. Looks like he's just tanking the damage there.
Ben finishes off Cold Stare at what is his next play?
He might be hard-pressed to do more overworld clearing before he goes into pod.
Really hope he doesn't choose to go into Swamp Palace, because that didn't work out. Looks like he might be going for a pod.
Yeah, looks good.
Couple of arrows there, and Vitreous is down. I like that the Vitreous sprite has changed color with the red mail, is now very irritated looking eyeball. Probably needs some Visine.
My brand!
So Ben making the right play heading into Palace of Darkness here. He's going to pick up the Ether Medallion soon enough and will be in go mode.
That'll be fun to see. Just full clear out Misery Mire without having to pick up too much, and also then just make the march up the mountain to finish off this scene.
jkoper finishes off Cold Stare with no problem, and will be hot on Ben's tail if he chooses to go into pod next, which I hope he does. Oh, and JTB is heading into King's Tomb. He is actually go mode before.
Oh wow, nice. He's still got a lot to cover, but he's on his way.
Being able to go mode Ice Palace is going to save him a good chunk of time, and the only other dungeon he's got left to do is Skull Woods, which is also really quick, so he's actually in really good shape right now.
He's mostly gotten all the items from Skullwoods already, so he shouldn't have any trouble.
He'll just go straight to the back.
And we're gonna see the coolest bomb jump in the whole game. I learned this one first, because it looked like it'd be the most challenging, but once you sit down with it, it's actually ain't that bad.
The Ice Palace bomb jump is probably the coolest one. Although some of our really, really good runners have some very unusual bomb jumps that they pull off that are just exceptional.
Benteezy heading downstairs towards loot.
Xelnas finishes off Cold Stare as Ben enters Go mode. Instead of heading into
jkoper's still looking for stuff.
instead of heading into Pod, he mirrored into the Light World and is doing Eastern Palace. Oh, he actually hasn't finished this crystal yet, so he's going to finish off this dungeon, then maybe take a dip into Pod.
That's probably not very good routing though, because why do the crystal dungeon first in front of the pendant if you know you're not gonna need to do the pendant if you find where ether is?
Yeah, I guess he's got his reasons for this particular routing choice. Chat is pointing out that jkoper hasn't been in in Eastern Palace at all, so it's possible he thought he would just clear out these chests first on the off chance that he could find the medallion in the crystal dungeon.
No, this is gonna be bad. What are you doing? Oh, but he's going right for the Armos Knights, wasting no time at all.
I'm actually a little confused as to why JTB is full clearing Ice Palace right now. Maybe looking for silvers, doesn't want to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon?
I can't blame him.
Or is it the big key? Are we looking for the big key? If you do the bond jump, you don't have to look for the big key, though.
jkoper with the silver arrows, having no trouble at all against the Armos Knights.
Trolldorm is taking it out on Xelnas there. Looks like he wasn't even letting him on the platform there.
Man, poor guy. Just wants a crystal, dang it. Looks like Xelnas eventually gets it.
Ben picks up the big key in Misery Mire, and he's on his way to Vitreous.
It's almost that time, isn't it?
We are getting very close to the end of this one.
I'm surprised that we're just about to enter the 1 hour 20-minute mark, and no one has finished this seed yet.
There was just enough trolliness that I'm not surprised we haven't seen someone finish yet, but judging by how I imagine that we might see someone in the next few minutes finish up. There are a lot of good runners running this race tonight.
I can certainly tell just looking at the entrance list. JTB wasting no trouble at all with the fire rod there.
JTB is on his way to Skull Woods now to finish that off, and then he'll be heading up to Ganon's Tower shortly after that. Using up almost all the arrows in his inventory, Ben finishes off Vitreous.
Wow, that's pretty tough when you don't have silvers. I guess we should ask that question now. We're on our way to Ganon's Tower. There are 22 chests up there where the big key could possibly be. Tell me your guess now, people. What do you think, Sabo?
I'm going to say it's in the rando room, top right chest.
You know what? I think this seed has had enough and wants people to finish. I'm gonna say it's gonna be on the torch.
Death Mountain certainly not making it easy for Ben to get up. Throwing
Wow,
every...
Dead rocked again.
Dead rocked, and then a barrage of boulders come flying down at him.
Congratulations to Rusted Grail for subscribing to Speed Gaming Twitch Prime.
Thank you so much for that, Rusted Grail. Oh, jkoper is full. He's heading for Helmasaur. He missed the one chest that had the Ether Medallion in it.
Oh no! Is he gonna be disappointed?
I hope he remembers that he did not check that chest and will go back for it. We've had our first two finishers in first place with a time of 1:23:04. TGH has already finished up, and in second place, right behind him at 1:23:16, El Magus has finished.
Wow, bang bang finish. Impressive. Congrats to both of them.
And right behind them, ACMLM of 1:24:49.
Wow, he's a very impressive runner too. I've seen.
So Ben going left here.
Oh, not the torch this time. Oh well.
Tempered Sword. Small key. And the Bombos Medallion.
Didn't need that one this time.
Another small key. Looks like Ben is going Dark Magician is going to the right side now after those first 5 chests.
Skipping ahead of the tile room. I can't there. That's a lot of time. TGH now into the chat saying LTTP Randomizer is the worst game ever invented, for your information. Welcome and congratulations, sir.
Find the bug net, the compass, and Big 20. So that is 10 chests checked so far. Oh. a little bit of a glitch there from Ben.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not good. Did I see that wrong? But did he skip the key on the right side after the teleporter?
I feel like he might have picked that up. Chest 11, we find a fire shield. And Ben left that key on the right side there. JTB is entering Ganon's tower now, 127.04. Oh, and
Benteezy
jkoper...
Benteezy having a tough time getting the boomerang just right so that he can just jet right over. He eventually gets it, though.
And finishing in 4th place with a time of 127.57 is Wolf38. We're now heading into the rando room. My choice was top right in the rando room. There it is in the top left chest. That is
not too far off.
Was that chest number 14? Did I count that right? 14, yeah.
So if you said 14, congratulations. You know who you are.
Ben's still going. He must be looking for silvers. That's all I can think of at this point.
At this point, he's better off looking elsewhere. Like where Xelnas is, he just picked them up. Oh, and he finally realizes that he doesn't need to do much of anything else anymore.
And while we're watching our runners here, Hippo S has finished in 5th place with a time of 1:28.23, and INC None has finished in 6th with a time of 1:29.03.
GG to them. Benteezy making the climb up the tower. That second mimic room is always the trickiest. The BMOs make it so bad.
And it looks like Xelnas made the play to go into Swamp Palace instead of looking in Pod for that Ether Medallion. So unfortunately, going to find nothing here of use.
Yeah. Or jkoper and Xelnas. They're doing some smart gambles. They just don't happen to be the right gambles.
Benteezy taking on Lanmo 2 here. Tempered Sword and the Fire Rod will make this a little bit of an easier fight. And JTB finds his big key for Ganon's Tower, going to be starting his ascent up. Ben making his way through the gauntlet with no problem.
Down goes Vitreous on jkoper's side. Looks like he'll be on his way up Ganon's tower soon too. JTB having some problems getting the spike room before the mimics. Oh, we evidently found butter here in the higher parts of Ganon's tower.
And the validation chest has the Quake medallion. Butter Sword is going to make Ben's silverless Ganon fight much easier. Although the power boost from Tempered up to Butter isn't huge, it'll still make it a little bit easier for him.
Here comes Aghanim 2. Looking like at least a double. Ooh, blue balled here, there. Made one. And another one there. Ooh, and down it goes. It's almost time for some bacon-covered nachos.
jkoper's going to have to dip into Tower of Hera very quickly to take care of Moldorm.
Oh no! Yikes! Maybe that... Then again, that's actually a little bit of smart routing, but I don't know if that's the best place to put a portal down, or at least save... It's certainly not the wrong move to make if you have Turtle Rock or the tower last go.
He was definitely going to be saving Tower of Hera for last. Just that he ended up a little bit further behind, I guess, from our other runners.
Benteezy downing a red potion, almost getting ready to enter the next part of his Ganon fight. As soon as he stops teleporting. As soon as he stops teleporting. There he is.
And as Ben takes out Ganon here, Frame has finished in 7th place with a time of 1:34.01.
See if he gets a torch glitch. Oh, barely misses it. And blocked by lighting the other torch briefly by Ganon.
So far, his fight's not going as well as he might have hoped. Looks like he's getting into a bit more of a rhythm now.
He's finding his grooves. Shouldn't be too much longer now. Meanwhile, jkoper just getting his last crystal to begin, looking for Ganon's tower. Go through it.
Should just be a couple more hits there.
Like he's missing the timing a little. Magic is becoming a bit of a concern now.
But the pig is down. GG to Benteezy.
Well done. Finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 41 seconds. GG to him. 10th place, by the way.
Finishing just behind Evanitis in 8th place with a time of 1:35:30. And JSR2 Gamers finished in 9th place with a time of 1:35:49.
Meanwhile, JTB doing his Aghanim 2 fight. JTB done with Aghanim here on his screen, out to ready to take on Ganon himself. Few more finishes are coming in, with Mentos Man 8 in 11th place with a time of 1 hour 37 minutes 54 seconds. Aktha Boker in 12th with 1 hour 38:05, and Big Dunka with a time of 1 hour 38:11.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey Ben, GG.
That was that was surprisingly fun for how badly I played it.
Well, you didn't do too badly there. It did look like kind of a fun seed to play, but the big troll item must have been that Moon Pearl in Hera for you.
Well, for me it was the boots, because I didn't do Old Man in the Dark. So I got my boots at 56 minutes. That's why I was 12 minutes behind first place.
Right. Yes, you did, yeah.
So,
Hare finished in 14th with the time of 1 hour 38:37, and Mr. Barry Bonds 15th with 1 hour 38:43.
I should have edited your guys' volumes before I got in here.
Yeah, I do apologize for that.
I was like, whoa, loud. Sorry, go ahead. What was your question?
So Ether Medallion was your go mode item. How long did you wait before taking the dive into pod there? When did you start to think it might be there?
So I was originally planning on doing picking up my cane and then doing the pyramid and then going straight into pod. And then I was like, oh wait, Hera's the other Fat Fairy crystal. So let me go back up and finish Hera, and then I'll do Fat Fairy and pyramid at the same time. And then when I went up there, I did that. I finished Dark World Death Mountain with the hookshot cave stuff, and then I saved and quit. And when I saved and quit, I was like, wait, I don't have the mountain cave, so I missed Old Man. Let me go back and do that. Found my boots. Boots led to Fire Rod. So it was like I just kept getting distracted. But I had wanted to go to pod from the get-go because they gave us the bow so early. So
yeah, definitely had all the pieces to get into pod fairly early. So yeah, I was surprised that people put that off. A lot of people put that one off on the stream here today. So you weren't the only one.
Few more finishes rolling in. Zyrak finishing in 16th at 1 hour 39:02. JTB finishing now with 1 hour 40:09, along with Glan also with 1 hour 40:09, and Weighty Words with 1 hour 40:24.
Yeah, but I think that especially I was kind of happy I got to Super Bunny in the Super Bunny cave, and then I was disappointed that the Pearl was on the mountain, so everybody was gonna have the bow. I thought I had a little bit of an advantage, and then I realized I kind of screwed myself over by not having the mirror before I went up there.
And we're just seeing it now, but evidently we never saw the book, and thus we never knew what was on the pedestal, but evidently it was some arrows.
Aw. Unfortunate. No pedestal for stream today.
Yeah, when you picked up the bow using the Super Bunny, that was pretty cool. We really thought that was going to give you an edge, and then when it turned out that Moon Pearl was also up on Death Mountain, that was too bad.
Yeah, I definitely lost time in the long run for that. But I learned my lesson. I'll do Old Man of the Dark from now on, even with no sword. I know the cave, the only way that's punishing is if it's boots. This is literally the only way it's punishing, because it gives a movement advantage if you don't do it. But it happened to be boots this time, so I won't let that happen to me again. But yeah, it was a fun seed. Hope you guys had fun watching.
Well, we sure did. Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later.
Cool, thanks. So as we're waiting to get JTB in, we see jkoper is heading on up to fight Aghanim.
Looking like Xelnas is stocking up.
Definitely want to grab some safeties if you're not sure. Heading up Ganon's Tower. Yep.
He's still looking for ether though.
And we're joined with JTB. GG's.
Oh, I can't hear anything. Hold on.
It's okay. Take your time.
Well, we lost JTB for a second there, but we'll get him back as soon as we can.
Meanwhile, Xelnas is headed towards the Spike Cave and is going to get his half magic, but not his ether.
Ooh, and I'm just finding out that Xelnas went into pod, but left without the ether medallion.
This ain't good.
JTB, GG.
GG indeed. What
So, tell us
interesting
about that seed. Yeah.
So I have to ask, was anyone playing Yakety Sax when I was in Gauntlet?
Not this.
I think I saw that when you were in the Spike room before the mimics, right?
Yeah, I was so confused at what was going on. I was like, I just want to get my fairy and go on, but those blocks were not having it at all.
Sometimes it just isn't your day, but you never know.
But that was a pretty fun seed. I don't know how I feel about Vanilla Moon Pearl.
Yeah,
Like-
that's never fun to see.
Especially because there's like nothing to suggest that, you know, you need to do Hera. I mean, you have a weapon, you don't have a fire source. It's a weird call.
It was in a pretty trolly place for sure. Even though it's the vanilla location, there was like very little indication that you were supposed to go up and check it out.
Yeah, using the bombs, just having to climb the tower. I was really thinking like, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, like this is a randomizer, all right.
Definitely. And unlike our other 3 featured runners today, your go mode item was the fire rod. Everyone else was looking for the ether medallion, which you found a little earlier than them in pod.
Really? Oh, pod was kind of a tough call. Honestly, having swamp and pod as pendant dungeons, it was like, when do I want to commit to one of them, and which one do I want to commit to? So I eventually just decided to try out pod and see what would happen. Honestly, I didn't even know. I forgot to click ether for mine, or I just didn't check it, so I didn't even know that it was required. I was just kind of hoping that it was when I went over to Meyer. It kind of worked out.
Sure enough, yeah, the gamble paid off.
What's one thing you wish you did better in this seed that maybe the other runners did better than did probably struggle in?
I would say my execution definitely wasn't up to par. This race, I kind of was falling apart a little bit with just trying to figure out what items I need. I wish I did. I knew I was in go mode as soon as I found fire rod, but I took a lot of extra time to see if I could find silvers in the swords, and lo and behold, both swords are in GT. So I wish I just trusted my instincts that the swords would just show up instead of wasting that extra time to try to find something.
The other 2 swords being where they were weren't much up either, were they?
Right. It's like, okay. Well, it kind of made obviously Ganon a little bit easier because I was totally committed to doing Master Sword Ganon when I entered Ganon's Tower. So it was a little bit of a relief, but I was hoping to find those silvers at least somewhere.
Silvers ended up being in Swamp Palace, the chest south of the big chest.
Huh. Well, I'm glad I didn't go to Swamp Palace, though. Like,
Yeah.
I do not have any regrets about not entering Swamp Palace.
Yeah, you would have had to go out of your way for him, so in the end, it probably worked out a little better.
Mm-hmm. How did everyone else do? I know Ben finished before I did, but I wasn't sure who else was being restreamed.
You were the second of our 4 runners to finish. We've just had jkoper finish now, and Xelnas is on his way. So, yeah, pretty good. You were only, I think, 4 or 5 minutes behind Ben there. So, yeah, GG's, man.
GG's. Thank you guys for commentating too. I'm sure the community enjoys it.
I hope so. This is my first time doing commentary, so I hope it wasn't too bad.
Believe it or not, me too. I don't know if they'll be welcomed back with open arms, but I guess we'll find out soon, right?
Well, hey, this is my first time playing Legend of Zelda as well, so I guess we could all be first timers.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I'm gonna go drink some milk and try to think about what I could do better for this race. So,
Well, great. Thanks so much for joining us.
Right. Have a good night, everyone.
So we're waiting on jkoper to come in for a little quick interview. Oh, looks like we might have him here now. jkoper, GG's.
Yeah.
Well done.
Sure. It is all right.
Could have gone a little better, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know that I would change most of what I did. Obviously I fell on Ganon. That's just a silly mistake that cost me a place or two. But beyond that, I thought my routing was mostly okay. Just didn't work out that well. In some ways it did though, because I found the overworld stuff when I needed it, but I don't know. Full cleared swamp just to find the silvers, which were nice, but they definitely didn't save as much time as it took to clear swamp. And I don't know, Ether was the last place I looked in pod. Could have cleared that a little differently, I suppose, but I just went with the high percentage route looking for one item, and it didn't work out. So,
Yeah, that was really too bad in pod there. Last place you checked, so and that was really hard to watch. But yeah, all in all, not bad. I thought your routing was pretty good.
yeah,
Did you think there was anything that really trolled you really hard, or?
man, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I was ready for Ether to be in a lot of different places at that point.
It seemed like Moon Pearl was in a pretty brutal spot there, up in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, it was. I think that was a fairly unlikely place for it, given the items that we were given. But I still felt good about finding it before going into Eastern, which would have been the next move. Oh yeah. I didn't get the boots as early as I could have because I didn't feel like doing the dark old man rescue without a sword.
Yeah,
so,
true. That's a trickier dark room to do, and one that you think might be a bit of a time waste sometimes. So, and the old man never really pays out until the time that he does.
Right. Yeah, and those boots were...
And unfortunately, it was just that time.
Right. I've seen him have the boots a pretty good number of times at this point, but... Anyway, pretty standard, pretty fast seed generally. Not nothing too crazy where you'd point at it and say V26 or whatever, where you have to dig items out of Pendant Mire, Pendant Turtle Rock or whatever. So just the Ether and Pendant Pod, and that was really it. Otherwise it was just all overworld and crystal dungeons, so...
Yeah, no book this seed either, so you didn't have to bother with the tablets or the pedestal.
Yeah, pedestal's pretty low priority for me in general, but man, 444 menu. Oh, that's because I did the swordless Argus. That wasn't very fast either. I was like missing a lot of what I was trying to do with the hook shots, and then he was picking up the little puffs before I could hammer them, and it was just annoying in general. But anyway, all right, I gotta move on to my next mission. So
great. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Good luck with the rest of the restream.
Great. Thanks so much for stopping. See ya.
If you haven't already, give these guys a follow. They certainly deserve your attention. Haven't given it already.
And so finally, Xelnas enters Ganon's tower. Well, side by side here, we get a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action.
Yeah, that looks like the Manhattan Project.
Xelnas is going right side first here.
That's not a bad guess, finding nunchucks on the pedestal. Just want to remind folks that if you're enjoying the Zelda Randomizer dailies, they're happening all throughout the month of December. There is one. Let me find out the times again. It's 11 Eastern, 5 Eastern. No, 2 Eastern Pacific, 5 Eastern Pacific, and then 11 Eastern. And don't be afraid to jump in one.
All right, Xelnas making his way down the left side of Ganon's tower now.
Also, a friendly reminder that if you're into the randomizer tournament, we have you covered for Sunday. Got a little bit of action going on. Sunday at noon Eastern, we have Aaron Dobby versus Ozzypone. That's race 1 on Speed Gaming 4. That's in the secondary tournament. Also, tomorrow is a best of 3 series between Ninban and Zayn. That starts at 1 Eastern. We haven't gotten a restream channel for that, but do follow the channel to find out when it's going to be there.
Xelnas is heading to the rando room and will be picking up his big key. And now is going to start the climb up Ganon's tower. I would like to shout out our trackers today, Sia and IB Karma, for doing an excellent job keeping track of everything going on during the race today.
Yeah, major shout out to them. They've been helping keep things straight for us when we just happen to miss that moment. And like Xelnas is going to go into the safety room.
And catches one of the fairies as well as a safety. That'll be nice. Xelnas making quick work of these early gauntlet rooms.
Making it way to Lamellus too soon. After taking a couple of hits from the Beamos. Oh, taking the safety fairy from the bunny beam there.
Changes the pattern of the Land Molus fight a little bit, but looks like Xelnas is doing okay.
Looking like a 3 cycle. There it is.
Makes it through the torch room with no problems there.
Time for the second torch room, see if that gives him any trouble. Takes the extra magic just in case.
Not going to bother with those first 2 chests. Wonder if they'll pick up the one with the butter sword in it.
At this point, I wouldn't doubt that he'd skip it. He might just want to be done with this.
Ah, decides to grab it. Perfect.
Shots across, and he briefly haunts the chest, but grabs Quake anyway. Here we go with Xelnas entering Aghanim 2. Goes down with trouble at all. He's on again and now 2. Down he goes to start his Ganon fight.
Already into phase 3, very nice.
He's into the final phase. Shouldn't be no problem at all with his silver arrows.
Missed the torch glitch, but that's okay. Got half magic, so... Ooh.
Missed the torches to light him up, though, so... Missed the one again. There he goes.
Very nice double there. And one more to go. And that's gonna do it. GG, Xelnas.
Yes, indeed. Finishing strong.
So we'll try and pull Xelnas in here for an interview. Just looking to get this set up. We'll see if Xelnas can join us here in just a second.
Hey guys. Wow.
Xelnas, GG.
No, not even. Oh, that was awful. No. Why? Why was it in pod? Why did I back out of pod?
Yeah, you backing out of pod there was just brutal to watch.
To be fair though, I shut swamp first. So it's all
It looked like you could have played a little bit better. It looked like you took a deaths you didn't want to.
No. Oh, the Meyer one was the biggest one for me. Other than that, like, yeah. I thought I played, like, fine. I thought my routing was fine up until, like... Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, you were pretty much on pace with most of our other runners. A couple little things dropped you behind, but yeah, not bad at all.
There's the reason I call myself the worst randomizer runner. It's because I feel like I should be significantly better than I am, but I keep missing small things, so whatever. It's fine. I got all the bomb jumps first try, so that's... Well, no, almost all of them.
And that's pretty tricky with that vitreous sprite. Have you been using that one for the last
I
little
love
while?
that.
Or?
I love that one. I like that one, Kirby, and Cat Boost. So I use all the stupid bomb jump sprites. So I've at this point just completely like I don't even know how or I don't even like I for one of the bomb jumps I do it based on how many times I hit my controller button. The ones in the Ice Palace bomb jump I do it based on how many like I hit my controller. Like it's based on like inputs, not even by look. I don't even know what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like.
That's pretty funny because a lot of people like definitely use like little shadows or pixel keys.
Like I use the bombs actually, like where my bomb ends up is how I do a lot of the bomb jumps. Like I know to abandon a bomb jump if my bomb's too close to me. Stallwood's big chest bomb jump. I can tell as soon as I place the bomb if I'm in the right spot, because the bomb will be too close to you. If if you've done it wrong, so you can like throw the bomb away and then try again. But that's about it. Yeah. Wow, all that routing. I felt like I was on such good pace, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't have ether yet.
Ether aside, how did you feel about the seed?
I thought that seed was great. I loved it. Aside from ether being like deep in pod, that was kind of stupid. But
what did you think when you found the moon pearl up in Tower of Hera there?
Vanilla, I wasn't expecting it to be moon pearl, honestly. I was expecting it to be a fire source to make me go back to desert.
Right, yeah.
This seed was hard though. I feel kind of bad for anyone new because you have to go into dark. You have to go into dark. Oh no, I sequence broke the bow. Like, right? That's not it. That's not in the logic anymore. I can't remember.
That's right. Yeah, you were supposed to go up to, I guess, Tower of Hera, get the moon pearl first, and then go over and pick up that bow, the bow there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought that like, I thought it was okay. I'm gonna rewatch this vlog because this will be the first time I'll be able to like read chat because all my other races that have been restreamed have had like less than 100 people. So I'm really excited to read chats. Like,
Chat's one of the most fun things to read when you watch back a VOD for sure.
Yeah. So I hope chat was useful today. Please chat. So no, I liked it. So thank you very much everyone for watching.
Well, thanks for running for us.
Yeah. No, thank you. And thank you. Speed Gaming team for doing all that, and Willard for choosing me to be on the restream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't be afraid of key sanity entrance, everyone. Join, have fun, do a 4-hour seed. It'll be fine.
Great, thanks so much for
key
stopping.
sanity, he says. Have fun, he says. We'll see.
Great, thanks for stopping by, Xelnas.
Hey, have a nice day.
You too.
I think that's gonna do it for us. Unless we have something else plug. Otherwise, I think that's it.
Coming up is some Breath of the Wild, apparently. So if you are a fan of that, then definitely stick around. But this is going to do it for us, I think. So thanks again to the trackers, Sia and Ivy Karma. I want to thank my co-commentator, Tick Crazy Dude.
Thank you. I'll be back. We'll see.
Question mark?
I don't know about me. That's why I did the question mark.
I think we did a pretty good job for our first run out. But yeah, thanks to everybody here at Speed Gaming. Thanks to the chat for hanging around and watching. And thanks to our 4 runners today. So that's going to do it. Do you want the last word, Crazy Dude?
Have a good night, folks. Sleep well.